Hey everyone, this is Miranda Dennis, CEO and owner of Oasis Clinical Counseling Services, as well as author of My Ordered Steps, a dialectical behavioral therapy wellness planner that I created for Christians to help balance out social, emotional, physical, and spiritual health. So I just wanted to come and talk a little bit more about the planner, about why I created it, and what maybe give you a little bit of inside peek of some of the layout as well. I am encouraging each of you to get one for yourself, get one for your family member, because if you need a place that you can balance your faith and balance emotional things that you might be going through, social difficulties you might be having, you want to also increase your physical health as well. I encourage you to purchase this book or it's a planner, not a book. I encourage you to purchase this because it will serve as a guide to help you achieve small goals in each of those areas. So this is what it looks like. You can see that, My Ordered Steps. And I will put the link for the planner, I will put that in the comments as well so that you can easily access it. So a little bit about why I created the planner. I created the planner because I had asked God for creative ideas of how to use my talent, gifts, and abilities as a social worker, as a therapist in the community. Like, how can sometimes, we might feel that our gifting isn't as important as someone else's gifting. And so we begin to compare ourselves to someone else. And I was doing that. And I was just like, oh, I'm just a therapist. Or I wouldn't even tell people that. People would say, what do you do for a living? And I would just say, oh, I'm a counselor, because I felt that as soon as I said I'm a psychotherapist, especially in the Christian community, I might get a couple of these, right? Don't worry, I'm diagnosing you. But anyways, so I would always kind of get that response. So I just learned not to necessarily start with that. I might get to it if they kept asking questions. But back in March of 2017, I went to a women's conference, and I was absolutely amazed because it really was a conference around emotional healing. And I'm like, this is the work that I do. This is the work that I do. And I was just so thrilled to see that the church was seeing a need in our community. And this particular conference, like I said, is a women's conference. So I was like beyond thrilled, like, wow, the church is finally getting it. The church is finally getting it. This is the stuff that I work with. When people groups, whoever, find my services, you know what? We work to conquer those limiting beliefs that they're having about themselves. We help release painful experiences and memories that they've been feeling, and balance out and take a hold of their faith and continue their walk, because they both can coexist. So there's no need to, I feel like part of my mission is to work towards dispelling the myth that you either have faith and pray about something, or you go get mental health counseling. I'm here to say that faith, prayer, and therapy can coexist. And it's kind of what the catalyst for what brought me to developing the wellness planner. So I've gotten some questions about what is dialectical behavioral therapy. This planner is designed for those who are at least a little bit familiar with what DBT is. However, I do give you a little bit of a introduction on each core skill. But I'm just trying to find a page really quick in the planner that I want to also share with you. Here we go. Okay. So there are 4 core skills: mindfulness, distress tolerance, emotion regulation, and interpersonal effectiveness skills. Each of those core areas help propel you forward and move you towards a life that you find worth living. So when we're looking at things about mindfulness, we're looking at how can you take charge of your thoughts without your thoughts taking charge of you. How can you bring basically every thought into captivity, right? That's scripture. There's Bible for that. So I give you that scripture, and there's also skills. Scripture and skills. Ooh, I got to come up with something with that. Scripture and skills. I like that. So then we look at distress tolerance. How in the world do I get through this distress, like I can't take it moment? I am completely at a loss. How do I get through this moment without making it worse? How do I get through this moment without saying and doing something that I'm going to regret later? There are specific skills that DBT teaches in that. Now, I don't go into all the detail in this because this is a wellness planner and a guide to help you use the skill. But I do give you a little bit about what the core skill is. And in the back, I'm just going to show this to you now. In the back, I also list some helpful resources so that you can do your own exploration. A little bit more about DBT. There are tons of information. There's tons of information out there. So I do put that in there for those who are not as familiar. So the next skill I want to talk about is interpersonal effectiveness skills. So this skill helps you to learn how to ask for things that you want, learn how to say no when you need to say no and set boundaries. It is about repairing relationships and being able to ask. If there's a lot of times we have difficulty asking for things that we want and have need of because of fear of rejection or whatever it is. So the skills within interpersonal effectiveness skills, the skills within interpersonal effectiveness skills teach you how to do that. And the last skill I'll talk about is emotion regulation. First of all, we all have emotions. We are born with 8 primary emotions. They are innate within us. That means from birth, we have them. And so us being Christian, we know that we are created in the image of God. So if we are created in the image of God, where do you think emotions came from? Everything in the Bible is true and we can parallel our life with. So if we have emotions, we know that God has emotions. And there are scripture that you can go to and see the emotion of God. There's also scriptures that you can go to that teach you how to deal with the emotion. So along with scripture, we need skills, right? Scripture and skills, they both coexist. So within emotion regulation, we talk about how to identify the difference between a primary emotion and an innate emotion you were born with and a secondary emotion, and teach you how to recognize that. Then we teach you how to regulate those emotions. Again, all of that's not in my planner. It would be much thicker. This is a planner. You have to either find a certified DBT therapist like myself. You can also Google DBT therapist, but the website that you'll find me on is the behavioraltech.org, as well as dbtncaa.com. Those are the regulating authorities of who has the training to teach DBT skills, and I'm listed on both of those websites as intensively and certified in DBT. So that's where you can go if you're interested in actually finding a therapist that will help you more specifically with DBT. If you're interested in learning more about it, there's information there. You can always follow me on social media. Just about everything that I put has a DBT flair or background or reasoning to it. So my business page is oasislcsw.com. My online community is Therapy and Prayer. I'm also on Instagram at oasislcsw, and I'm also on Twitter. So those are some ways that you can follow me and pick up some of these DBT skills that I'm giving you along the way. So I had a couple questions that I was talking with somebody with earlier this week, and they were trying to figure out how does all this relate and interact, and what does it mean? So let me find a blank page here, because I'm using my book too. But let me find a blank page. So at the beginning of each week, there is a space for you to put a scripture and skills. So we want to put a scripture. Then I also give you a place to put a mantra, and I also give you a place to put a weekly goal. Small goal. Not lose 100 pounds, because you're not going to do that in 1 week. And if you do, it's unhealthy. So small goals. Walk once a week for 20 minutes. That might be your goal for the week. And then that goal would help you with your physical part. So then we have a daily wellness tracker where there's a spiritual, the interpersonal, which is your social, the physical, and emotional wellness tracker. Underneath each of those, I give you samples and examples of things that you can do within those categories that will help increase your skill level, but also it'll help you, do better, feel better in that area. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, underneath that, another tracker is we're going to track your emotions on a daily basis. Now, it looks like this. Looks something like this. And this is the categories here. And then these are different examples. And then this is what the emotion tracker for the week looks like. Some of the things that I want you to track might be taking a non-judgmental stance. That's going to help you have better relationships. If you're walking around judging everybody as wrong or that you're better than somebody else, you might not have as many friends as you think you do. So we need to work on taking a non-judgmental stance with others and with ourselves. Let's see. For spiritual, spending time in prayer and meditation. For emotions, accepting things as they are, right? There are some things that we are still refusing to accept, but we need to accept reality. And by not accepting reality, you are increasing your own emotional struggle. Really, you're increasing your own emotional suffering and making it worse. It is better to say, I don't like what's happening. I don't have the power right now to change it. So it doesn't mean I agree. Doesn't mean that you're validating the situation. It means it is what it is and I can't do anything about it. And I'm okay with that because I have to be, because there's nothing I can do. What I can do is take care of me. And that might be saying, you know what? It is what it is right now. And finding a way to cope. Then you jump over to your distress tolerance skills that will help you cope. And all of this is backed up, one, by scripture, but also by neuroscience. There are reasons that when you're doing these things, you are creating new mental maps. The old things, the negative thoughts, the old negative patterns of behavior, you have to change your mental maps. When you do this, when you're doing the things in the planner, when you're using DBT skills, you are actually creating new brain cells. And so in essence, you're getting smarter. And we always say work smarter, not harder. Okay, our brain uses 20% of our energy. So if you've got 20% of your energy focused on this didn't happen, I didn't get the promotion, this person is better than me, this person didn't acknowledge me, life sucks, poor me, woe is me, all the time, then you are using 20% of your energy focused on negative things. So one day, one time of going for a walk isn't going to change anything drastically, but it will give you the start. The next part is consistency. So I want you to create an environment of sustained change. Now we can go to the altar, we can pray through, we can get healing for our broken heart, and we can ask for forgiveness, and we can spread love, and we can feel the love of God. And after the altar, after the church service, after the sermon, when you get home, when Monday rolls around, you have to do something to sustain an environment of change. Scripture and skills, they come together. They can coexist. So I could talk all day. This is something I'm very passionate about. But I'm not going to do that. But I am going to encourage you to do a little bit more research. I wasn't a big fan of DBT when I first heard about it. I didn't want to do this training. I was like, I'm not doing that training. But here I am. And I'm so thankful that I learned this because I can help so many people. So I hope that you get to be one of the people that I get to help and improve their life. So hop over to my website, oasislcsw.com, and you can click the book tabs. It'll be in there. And you can also just order it directly from Amazon. And I will put the Amazon link in there as well. And yeah, I'm just really super excited. I'm blessed to be a vessel. I'm blessed to be a blessing. And I'm super excited for your journey. I am super excited to hear about your ordered steps and how this has been helping you. So please, if you have questions about the planner, please feel free to comment. Feel free to send me a message. I will do my best to get back to you. But I am Miranda Dennis, owner of Oasis Clinical Counseling Services, the proud creator of my online community, Therapy and Prayer. And you can also find me on Instagram at OasisLCSW, as well as Twitter. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day, and continue to use skill and scriptures as the God orders your steps.